I am here with the bioresonance man himself today to do a little bit of a deep dive on what is frequency treatment, because so many people are curious about different ways that we can really realign the body. And we're not here to treat, cure, or diagnose anything. This is just real life experience and testimonials. And I personally had an incredible experience when I first met this man. And I had been bedridden for several weeks on and off, no energy, felt terrible. And it was lost a lot of my confidence after having a long healing journey. And what I found is when I started these frequency treatments and there was a parasitic infection that had traveled to my brain, I could not believe how much detox my body had to go through. And after about 6 days, I started feeling better than I had in a very long time. And from there, I've never looked back. This is something that I've incorporated into my routines quarterly after travels. And I'd love to know, one of the things that we do when we first start using this modality is we come in for a scan. So I'd love to know, what is a scan? What does it do? What is the purpose? And how do you utilize that to really have a prognosis, not a diagnosis, of what could be going on?
Okay, that's several good questions. To start with, the technology was invented or discovered many years ago and is based on oscillation or the resonance of pathogens like parasites, bacteria. Everything in the universe and on the planet vibrates on a certain frequency. So some very smart people started to investigate by separating a streptococcus bacteria that mainly lives in the throat. Then under a microscope, they started to connect electrodes to the sample, and with a special device, they would have the electrodes run from 0 hertz up till whatever hertz, can be up to 1 million hertz. And under the microscope, they would observe at what time that bacteria would start to vibrate. And then they discovered what happens when we crank up the volume, in fact. So the volume, the hertz is a sound, and that sound was literally scattering the bacteria. So what they could see under a microscope, that the bacteria on its own was not there anymore. It just exploded. So on a cellular level, this is very interesting because you can treat many pathogens on that way, as long as you know the oscillating value of that pathogen, microbe, parasite, cells, whatever, cancer cells, etc.
I think that is absolutely fascinating. Some of the first time I've heard some of this. And so is that what a scan is doing when you start scanning someone's body?
Yeah, so the scan is done with electrodes. They're mainly placed along the intestinals because that is our biggest immune system, which is connected to the rest of the body. And then in fact, computer-based program will shoot like millions of frequencies through your body during a time of 15 minutes, which goes from 41,000 hertz all the way up to 1,800,000 hertz. That's mainly where the range of pathogens are oscillating on, going from parasites all the way up to cancer cells. So what comes out of there is a long list of all possibilities. It's not a diagnosis, and it's more a way of making a program that starts to eliminate all the entities that are there obstructing our energy flow in our body. And they are really shattered through the frequency along 3 minutes. Parasites, they can be killed in 3 minutes. They literally are not there anymore. And then the white blood cells that come in to eat up all the rest as garbage, in fact. So, yeah, if that answers your question.
Absolutely. And for anyone this is truly remarkable. And I think this is a lot of ancient wisdom coming with future technology. And what I'm hearing is that everything that lives inside of us and around us has a frequency attached to it. And what these incredible humans have done is they've found which frequency will eliminate something that is no longer of value to your body.
Exactly.
And so, for example, when someone has a scan after it starts running the program, what does that mean?
Well, during the program, the best or the 10 strongest hits in value of amperage is noted down by the program, and that program is then run for about 30 minutes over your body, where it will eliminate those 10 strongest hits that are then discovered by the scan before.
It's amazing. I know that people often are saying, okay, is this something that I can do one time? And what we've noticed is that although we can have a lot of progress in one treatment, there is this series of treatments. Could you explain kind of what is, I know it changes for each person, what would be the minimum and why is there more than one?
Well, the range of detoxifying the body, in fact, what it does is mainly good after 5 sessions. The first 2 to 3 sessions can be very hard on the body because of the die-off symptoms. So let's say that there are not enough white blood cells in your body to eat up the garbage of the off-killing. Then what it does mean then that your body will say, okay, I'm going to give you a little headache, or you're going to feel tired. And then the drinking of lots of water will help to ease those die-off symptoms that float around in your body, in your blood, in fact. So liver and all organs will help to eliminate those toxins over a span of 24 hours normally. So what is recommended is to go 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off in the very beginning. And mainly the three strongest sessions are the 3 first ones, let's say, or the strongest one that you can feel. Then after all, you will feel a better mood as well, because it also affects your mood situation, your emotions, and because you are killing and taking away parasites, which are really our pirates that are stealing energy and manipulate even our mind on the long term, which now they're finally starting to investigate what parasites mainly do to our body, and it's not a good not a good stuff to have in your body. So, and we are constantly, in fact, contaminated while restaurants, the streets where we walk, there's a lot of contamination around us, which we can breathe in mainly by dust, and then it settles somewhere down in the organs, and then it starts. Those parasites, they have their favorite organ as well. That's also was discovered. So those parasites, they travel to the organ where they vibrate best with, and they also join with heavy metals. It's all an environment that is lack of oxygen. That's where they thrive, in fact. Yeah.
This is fascinating. And I remember the first time I did my parasite treatment. And I will say that after the first day, and mine was pretty extreme. Mm-hmm. After the first day, I got home and I laid in bed and I thought, what the heck is going on? I did not feel well. But at the same time, you had explained to me that this is what happens. And what we know is that a lot of people are doing like supplementation parasite detoxes that span a range of like a month to 3 months. It's very hard on the body. And oftentimes people, they don't feel that much better after. Could you talk about the difference between doing a parasite cleansing using this frequency technology versus maybe some of the supplementations out there? I know you're not going to speak directly to all of them, but just in general.
Well, many times the herbal or, some other pharmaceutical tablets that you can take are good for maintenance. But the onset for the real killing is done with frequencies. They don't stand longer than 3 minutes. So then it will also help to enhance your immune system in a shorter period. Then when you only do the herbal, it takes a lot of time and you can get recontaminated in the meantime again. So I would say not for one, the extreme one is the only one, the best solution, but the combination is the better way to go. But the results are so much faster because, as I repeat again, the parasites in this case, they are eliminated in 3 minutes. They die off. They don't stand it longer, the shattering of the frequency. It's a hammering, so they're hammered from plus to minus all the time, and they can't stand the torture, let's say.
Well, I will scream it from the rooftops over and over again. I've never experienced treatments like this. And what I'll say is now that I've been doing them frequently, because I would say I come to you at least once a quarter, if not more, when I'm traveling a lot. And I know now when there's even a slight contamination of the parasites or any of the illness. I can feel it in my body. You just can feel a difference. And it makes me wonder, how long are we operating in a lack mode within our body? And of course, we know what is inside is outside. So if we are contaminated with parasites inside of our bodies, what is showing up in the rest of our life? Now, when it comes to other types of diseases or things that are just harming the body, because you have seen it all. How long have you been doing this for?
For 15 years now, if I count right.
My goodness. And you've been fascinated with the human body and technology for a lot longer than that.
Yes.
One of your most recent findings, which I find fascinating, and again, we're not here to treat, cure, or diagnose, but someone came in with a very obscure ailment that no one could figure out. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's an interesting case. The lady came in distress. She was afraid, and she said she was going through many specialists who they ended up pinching her with medicines, but she didn't feel better. So she finally found her way to the place where I work, and she was getting like signs of what we can call so she was getting signs of paralysis by talking. Her way of talking was very restricted, and she felt like paralysis also in her movement. So she was not really walking very well, and she was really in distress. So we did what we just talked about, initial scan, and the list can be very long. It can be easily over 800 or 1,000 words that come up of all the possibilities. As I say again, it's not a diagnosis. But then suddenly I saw that she had a mark on her leg, and I asked what it was, and she said, "Oh, I got bit by a dog like 5 months ago, or 6 months. I don't remember exactly." And then I saw that it was not healed very well. So I said, okay, that give me an indication on where to look. And in all the list, I found that the possibility was tetanus, which finally we applied then on her, and she got well so fast again. So, and she was very happy with the result. So.
I think that's one of the things I admire about you so much is your curiosity to really find the root cause. And that's something that I've seen over and over. I've sent a lot of people to come and see you, is that when we can go to the root cause, and you always say that it's three things: toxins, bacteria, and parasites, correct?
Yes. Well, above that is mainly parasites, then contamination and unresolved emotions, which mainly do 70 to 80% of lowering your immune system. So all the other entities, they come up and pop and they say, you know what, you're not paying attention to the issue that you had with your mom or dad that were passed, or in the brother, with your brother or sister, whatever family situation, because it's mainly always in your environment, close environment. And that affects your immune system. So in that way, that the entities that are already there and are just waiting to pop up and come there and do their thing. And at the same time, they're in fact, drawing the attention on an unresolved emotion. Like, I will give an example, very simple. So I'm going to give you acne because you have not been talking to your dad about some issue. So I'm going to make you ugly.
Oh,
It's an example. So the unresolved emotions, they are a way of drawing the attention on internal emotional things. Yeah.
well, and I think that shows the full embodiment of this holistic view and lens that you serve, is that you're not just looking for what's going on in the body, you're looking at the full picture, which is mind, body, and spirit. And I've seen you do that over and over again without judgment. You have a very neutral view for anyone that walks in your door. And I think that's why it's so easy to feel so safe. I remember the first time I saw you, I laid my eyes on you and I just had tears running down my face because your soul was just so loving and holding space immediately. And I think that's really important in this work. We see a lot of people in the holistic wellness space that are doing great things, yet there's an ulterior motive, a needing to be right. And that's one of the things I love about this, is you are very neutral about it and you take in all the information. when you people are having treatments, because you can also do distance healing also, and I believe you've said that it's usually about 2 to 3 weeks for the first round. How does that work with the distance healing?
Well, investigations have shown that this other technology, as we call a remote treatment, was in fact discovered by Einstein many years ago. It was a little bit early to explain that to the people, but now I think we have found better ways, and also more investigation has been done on this in order to say even the CIA has been testing this out. So for other purposes. So what it does is that you can work and send information through your DNA, which is separated from your body. So when the DNA has a helix form, okay? So they discovered that the DNA, the form of the helix, can function as an antenna or for sending information through when it's stimulated in an electromagnetic way. So you can actually send information through your DNA to your body that can be anywhere on the planet. And it sounds like magic, and it sounds like voodoo almost. But it's another dimension that it works on, which we don't see. And there are many things that we don't see by the naked eye and even don't feel. But this all exists on the planet. And it's a great tool to continue and detoxing the body on when time is short or people are traveling. So many times this is applied on a very successful base for many ailments. So, but what it does, it gives you the ability to detox, and you can also control and change the treatment when people are traveling. Just by calling back and keeping in contact with the patient or the client. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think this is something that was way ahead of its time. Even my dad, as a healer, would do distance healing, and I saw the
Yes, I know.
effectiveness. Now, watching you, I see so many people having amazing, tremendous results and telling you they feel it right away when the machine is turned on. And so that's something that you do offer, is that people can come down for an initial scan and a few series of treatments, and then they can do the rest of the treatment distance. Now, distance does take longer because it is less
strong.
Right.
Exactly. And that's why it runs 24 hours. As I said, according to the reaction of the person, it can be adapted. So let's say you're killing parasites, but when the Herxheimer reaction is too strong, which means a die of symptoms, people can feel tired, headaches, then we can shift it over to a full detox, lymphatic system, liver detox, etc., which then will help to flush out the toxic waste of the killing. Okay, so that mainly happens when there are not enough white blood cells in the body, which makes sense because you're already struggling and the body needs like a boost, so, and that is done by taking away those organisms.
It's truly fascinating. And I feel like we could go into so many topics, but at the end of the day, for all of you who are curious about this type of treatment, it is very safe, very effective. And it really stands on the grounds of eliminating the main root causes primarily, because a lot of people are doing all of these really amazing, fancy healing modalities, but they're not getting to the root. And what we've found, and what I've learned from my very long healing journey and finally finding this therapy with you, is that if we do not get rid of the parasites, contaminants, and emotional
release or orientation,
right, then everything that we're doing, it's all going to come circling back.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to add for people to know about this if they're curious, or if they're coming down to have this treatment done? What else would you like for them to know just to feel safe to have this treatment done?
Well, that they come with a certain goal, what they want to resolve. If you don't know, then we will find it out. But just be in a relaxed state and have confidence. And because the technology cannot harm you, so that's a very very big advantage. And just come in full confidence and relax, and most things can be arranged. As Socrates said 1,000 years ago, He said he was a very wise man, and he said all diseases are curable and certain persons not.
I love that. And I will be the first to say that you can absolutely feel safe, calm, at peace with everything going on. And the beautiful thing about this is, a lot of people are frustrated. They don't know where to go next. A lot of people have unresolved things that they've tried everything. And if that resonates with you and you're someone that has been doing your homework, seeing a lot of different specialists, please do not give up. There is always an answer. And sometimes the pathway that you are going through, that observation, education, everything you've learned is so that you can help other people. And what I know for sure is the moment you get down here and you sit in the clinic and you're looking out at the beautiful palm trees and you hear your amazing voice and all of your knowledge, you will definitely feel like you are in the right hands. And do not be afraid of the detox symptoms. I talk about this all the time. I actually like calling them
It's a
healing
good sign.
reactions.
Yes,
It's a great sign.
sign. Yeah.
Honor it. What's the worst case scenario? You get to lay down and watch a movie and sleep for a few extra days. It's all good, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what your body needs many times.
Thank you so much for
A
everything.
pleasure, Genevieve.
If today's conversation resonated with you and you want to learn more about what it would look like to have an in-person frequency detox protocol, please click the link in the show notes below and we can have a free discovery call about that. We also have incredible, revolutionary at-home frequency treatments that you can utilize, and we can talk about that during that consultation also. Frequency consultation link is in the show notes below, and I look forward to talking to you soon. If today's conversation resonated with you and you want to learn more about what it would look like to have an in-person frequency detox protocol, please click the link in the show notes below and we can have a free discovery call about that. We also have incredible, revolutionary at-home frequency treatments that you can utilize, and we can talk about that during that consultation also. Frequency consultation link is in the show notes below, and I look forward to talking to you soon.